Never fucking works. Yo, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? What's up, Peter, Phil, Carson, Ginger, Gervais, Marcel? What's going on? I see you killing it, Marcel. Silent Killer over there. Bikram's here. Mr. Black's here. It's very, very cool seeing you guys from the beginning of your journey till now. A lot of you guys have grown a lot, especially I notice you a lot, Dougal. Bikram's been killing it. I know Harmon's been killing it. Ginger's been absolutely murdering it. Marcel, you got way better. Mr. Black's better. And not just at fantasy football. What's up, Optimus Prime? How you doing, Justin? So let's just get right into it. I got a meeting in about 25 minutes, so I gotta be quick here. Go on SPY. Why did I say 442.81 pin at the close? Because what we've been seeing before this whole melt off into OPEX, the whole sell off into OPEX. Justin's been killing it too. Sorry, I forgot about you, bro. Before this whole thing, what was happening was they were pinning the indexes. There's big moves intraday, up, down, up, down, up, down, but they would close it right near where we opened. So there'd be barely any movement overall if you look at the daily candle. And that's exactly what they did today on SPY. That's why I was confident. I took calls at the end of the day. We did come down again today, but we held the pre-market low all day, which is where we nailed our first SPY calls here. And I took SPY calls at the end of the day just because we were right back there. And what did they do? They pinned it. So this morning we opened up at 442.81, and today we closed at 442.68. So a grand total of 13 cents movement on SPY today, even though we hit SPY scalps twice. So just keep in mind, we might be back to this boring ass summer shit where we open up and we close almost exactly the same with a lot of volatility in between. Other than that, the market looks super bullish. We're back in a bull trend. I don't want to delete these lines because they're very important to me. So we broke out of this big uptrend, like I said. We front ran OPEX, we dumped harder than usual, but we ripped right back up. So right now everything does look bullish. We're holding up. We have two straight inside days. So on Thursday we had a high of 444.89 and a low of 439.60. We have not broken either way. So again, you just have to watch today's inside day now. So the most important levels for SPY tomorrow is today's high and today's low. Whichever way we break will be the short-term price action for SPY. So keep an eye on today's high of 444.05 and today's low of 441.90. So that's what you need to be watching tomorrow's main levels for SPY. Other than that, everything's still in a bull trend. Longer term looks great. Everything looks great. QQQ, I have this drawn. I will show you later on why I have this drawn, because Amazon was following our dump on QQQ this morning. But when Amazon recovered, it didn't recover like this. It didn't make a lower low here. It just kept going higher and higher and higher. So that shows insane strength in Amazon, where it's moving better than the QQQ itself. Also, Friday's close showed Amazon was very bullish. Other than that, QQQ just sideways. Again, like I told you guys, it's back to that boring ass movement. We opened today on QQQ at 370.20. We closed today at 370.35. So a grand total of a 15-cent move on QQQ. Even though we went up and down all day, all this volatility garbage, we closed 15 cents lower than where we opened. So just pay attention. The only way you can catch these kinds of patterns is watching them every single day, attending the pre and post market every single day. You will not find these patterns anywhere else. It's just from watching over and over and over again, watching these patterns. XLF strongest today. QQQ was the weakest. QQQ closed within our pre-market range of highs and lows. SPY closed within our pre-market range. XLF closed above it, and IWM was the strongest. Look at the small caps today. This is an insane rip, and then just sideways the rest of the day. So IWM actually closed above VWAP even, which no other index did. So IWM small caps, keep an eye out for those. They do look the strongest to me. If we rally here into Christmas, if we don't get any more big correction, if we rally into Christmas, I think IWM takes all-time highs. It's only if we rally. I am bullish still. Other than that, IWM leads the way as usual. Like I told you guys, wherever IWM goes, the rest of the market follows. Usually, that's what's happening right now. ES, we had a pre-market low of 4427. We held that low all day. That's why I took the SPY calls here as well. I would play ES and SPX, but those calls are very expensive, and some of our members have smaller accounts. So I just want everyone to be able to play them. That's the only reason I play SPY. If you have a bigger account, it's smarter to play SPX or ES just because the contracts cost more. There'll be less commission on your plays. And other than that, there's another advantage, but I can't think of it right now. But if you have a bigger account, SPX and ES is the way to go. You play less commission for each contract that you trade. I always traded ES and SPX before, but since most of the guys in the group have messaged me That's why I play SPY. They're cheaper options. You can play with smaller accounts. Okay. And VIX. Let's see the daily chart. The intraday doesn't matter as much, but this is still setting out. We could still spike down. There could still be a big correction. Why do I say that? Remember that? Here's the low. Here's the high. Higher low. Higher high. And now if this is the low here and we go back and we break over this high of 28.79, it's changing the daily trend. After it changes the daily trend, we look out to the weekly and we have to change the weekly trend, which will take longer. A lot of people saying the VIX is a broken indicator, it's this, it's that. It could be, I mean, but if you just look at the charts without thinking of anything else, it's very obvious what's happening here. They set a higher low, they set a higher high, and it's just changing the daily trend. So keep an eye on the VIX. If we do crack 28.79, the market's going to be down a lot. So just keep an eye on the VIX. I think we need some big bad news to come out for this to actually happen. And surprise, surprise, Powell's speaking this week. So do take profits quickly. Don't get too comfortable bullish. Keep your position sizing the same, and don't get greedy. Don't get FOMO, don't get greedy. That's the way you have to trade in this market, or else you're going to get crushed. Bitcoin, a lot of bears in this one. Back here, there's so many people saying Bitcoin's going to die, Bitcoin's dead, this and that. Once I seen online everywhere, everyone's bearish on Bitcoin, that's when I jumped in at 31K, I believe. Jumped in 31K, falling wedge, my favorite pattern in the entire world. And we ripped up from 31K all the way to 52. Took off some gains there. And then now we're forming that bearish wedge again. So I'm still seeing a lot of people are bullish on Bitcoin online. So I'm waiting for sentiment change when everyone gets scared and it comes back down here around 39, 38. That's when I will reload a lot more of cryptocurrency. But right now, I see a lot of people bullish. I see a lot of morons that never traded before on Instagram and Twitter talking about, oh, how Solana is going to go to 400, Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000 straight, this and that. So that's the only thing stopping me from reloading right now. Other than that, I'm just waiting for everyone to get bearish and then I'll jump back in. I love sentiment trading. It's going against all the morons. No offense to anyone that thinks they're a moron. Amazon, absolute beauty. So we had 3,600 calls last week. I called out this range. This is where we entered the lottos last Friday that went from $1.70 to $5 within half an hour. Very bullish close on Amazon on Friday. So this morning, this whole dump was just to get out the weak hands. It was just to scare people out. I held my 3,600s. At one point this morning, I think they were $3. We bought them at $7.40 and I have a lot. So I looked at my account once, that account that I have my Amazon in. I looked at it once. My hands sweat a little bit, but then I just closed that account. Because I had a feeling it was just shaking people out. This was too bullish of a close in my opinion. I looked at the hourly one time. And we were right about here on the hourly. Where's my indicators? Hurry up. All right, so we were right about here on the indicators. Let me turn off extended market for you guys. We were right about here. So the stochastics were just curling back up when I checked that price, and it was at around 350, 360. I was actually thinking about adding. Instead of cutting for a loss, I was going to add Amazon, but I was like, I have enough. I'll leave it. And at the end of the day, those calls closed at around 850, 860, those 3,600s for October 15th. And I was down a lot of money this morning, but at the end of the day, I was actually green. So that just shows you, like, if you have some kind of conviction in your plays, sometimes it's always best to manage your profits. As you guys know, I sold 1/3 of those calls on Friday. When I got a quick move from 7 to 9, I had to sell some because I just got a rocket ship at the end of the day. That was just a gift. So I sold 1/3. I had profits to play with. Today my account did not look good, but I remembered I had profits to play with from Friday, so I held on a little tighter. And we ended up with a nice little hammer candle on the daily. They bought the dip. Everything looks good. We closed above 3,400. It's pretty much a very bullish. I think there's only one chart that's more bullish than, two charts that are more bullish than Amazon right now in my eyes. Other than that, 3,600s I'm still holding. We still have a gap to fill on Amazon all the way to $3,500 right here. So this is the gap fill on Amazon to $3,500. The daily, it's an okay chart. This is not too bullish. I mean, whatever. I might have a bias because I'm in. It's whatever. It's not too bullish. It's not too bearish. Whatever. Weekly is holding up fine. Monthly looks fine. Monthly looks actually better than fine. Just a monthly bull flag looks okay. The charts I'm talking about that look better than Amazon, in my opinion, are AMD. So we were watching this wedge breakout. This wedge, do we get the same move? We might. There was just an upgrade to 120. Our calls were over 100% today. If you followed the October 8th 110s, they're over, I think, like 110% or some shit. I sold them for 60 because I'm a tool, you know. I like to get out quick. Weekly looks fantastic. Like I said last time, we got a big rip, 3 weeks of consolidation, big rip. Big rip, 3 weeks of consolidation, and now we're breaking out again. So let's see if we get the same kind of move. If it's the same kind of move as last time, this week we should move 15% up on AMD. Today you've seen we moved from 103.50 to over 108. So just an insane move for AMD. $5 in a day is great. So I had to take them off. That's my reason. It's too much move. I think we're going to break to all-time highs, personally. But why risk it? I'll get back in. Other than that, AMD looks great. If you're still holding, congrats. Netflix is the second chart that I think is more bullish than Amazon. Why do I think that? Again, we're going to go over the weekly chart again. More longer than a year, stuck in this range between 568 and 475. Broke out, perfect retest of that level, and we bounced right back above the 8-day. Bounced right back above the 8-day. We're going to get off the weekly because it's only Monday. That candle doesn't mean much. But the daily, look at the Friday candle. Completely bought the dip, hammer candle. Completely bought the dip today, hammer candle. So Netflix is set up for a big move here. In my opinion, they just keep buying the dips every time. Look at this dip, hammer candle, hammer candle, hammer candle, hammer. They just want the dip. Hasn't closed below the 21-day yet. Other than that, the only level that I have to watch here right now is 593.26. So a close above 593.26 sends Netflix to all-time highs of 615, in my opinion. Could be wrong, could reverse, could get screwed, could go to zero. It's not my fault. I'm just saying my opinion. Manage your positions, don't get too greedy. Don't get FOMO. Twitter looks okay, so if you look at the 5-minute chart, like I know a bunch of new traders do, this one looks like shit. It was the weakest bounce all day. Lost the low of the day at the end of the day. But we did close above that low of the day. So intraday, this one looks like the worst out of the charts I've called out in the last 2 weeks. Twitter is the worst intraday. But if you zoom out and look at it, this whole play was made on a weekly chart. Remember, I called out October 15th, $70 calls. Those are, we already got 200% on those. So if you didn't take out any profit on those for 200%, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't press the buttons for you. But other than that, the reason I called out this play was, look at this huge up move, hit resistance, or formed resistance, came down, touched the 50-day almost to a T on the weekly. As soon as we hit the 50-day, big bounce. Like 6, 7, 8 weeks straight, bounce straight, and then hit that resistance again. And now, hit the 50-day almost to the penny again. Big bounce last week, 7.6% week. We got 200% on our calls. Talk Boyle? What the hell is Boyle? And now we're making our move back up. So I think Twitter this week should at least hit 68, in my opinion. Other than that, looks great. If we get the same type of move off the 50-day that we did last time on the weekly, this one will be well over $70. Our calls will be well in the money. We have 3 more weeks on these calls, so October 15th. And I'm still holding a few, but I took off a lot of profit. So even if these go to zero, I'm still big green on the trade. My trade is basically done. The runners are just for fun. So if you haven't managed like that, I suggest you go over your trades and look where you went wrong. Natural gas, I'll talk something else. Airbnb, this is scalp number 1 of the day. We hit the 175s. They went from 195 to over 280 on these ones. We sold around 250, 240. Easy scalp for me. Stochastics went under. Again, just patterns. Seen the stochastics go under. Caught the move. Got out. Whatever. Made my money and I'm out. Don't care if I missed 10, 15% on the trade. Other than that, on the daily, Airbnb looks great. I think this is going to be one of those stocks like UPST that just keeps running. We keep waiting for a dip for an equity buy or a leap buy or something. It's just going to keep going, in my opinion. If we do get a dip down to 154.50, I will absolutely load. 154.50 is a strong support. And I want equity of Airbnb in my long-term account. But this is the special number I wanted at 154.50. If I don't get it here, I'm just going to continue to play options all the way up until the market crashes, and then I get it 154.50. SE was scalp number 2 of the day that I caught it down here. Again, stochastics were over, RSI was oversold. This stock is too solid. My biggest holding in equity position. This SE was given to you guys at $150 for free. This was when we had our free Discord. So $150 back here. I even had it from earlier than there. I averaged up at 150, and now we're at almost we hit 350 in less than a year. So you got more than a double on this play in less than a year from a free Discord play. So that's all you should know about MyStockLife. Other than that, I love this company. I think it's going to be a $1 trillion company in the future. I think in the next 5 years, very few companies outgrow SE just because of how much stuff they have their hands in. I think it's Amazon 7 years ago, and that's as high props as I can give it. But I love C Limited. I will continue to hold the equity probably for as long as I live. Fiverr, told you guys I'd probably make an Etsy move. We got the 3-day rest pattern that we wanted. Today, hammer candle looked like people were buying the dip. Fiverr is set for a date with 229. So 230 is coming on Fiverr in my opinion, and sooner than later in my opinion. So why do I say that? Fiverr will pull an Etsy in my opinion. I've been calling it out in the group over and over again. So big earnings gap down, went sideways, kind of grinded up for a bit, and then all of a sudden just rocket ship on, filled the gap and then some. So that's what I'm expecting out of Fiverr. See this slow grind higher, and then now I'm just expecting a rocket ship, fill the gap to 230, and then go even higher. But let's see what happens on Fiverr. Other than that, momentum, it's back in this little range that it has here, and I think it goes higher. Moderna. So one thing you have to notice about this stuff, we've been playing vaccines a lot. Vaccines were all down today. Vaccines were down and reopening plays are up. So what does that tell you? That means people are thinking Delta variant is overplayed right now. They're thinking that Delta variant is under control. Reopening is going to go. Everyone's going to start traveling again. So that's just one thing I catch from this chart. Other than that, I do not have any interest going long or short in vaccines here. If we get down to 360, between 360 and 350 on Moderna, I will take leaps or equity on this one, and I'll go heavy. So this is the demand zone. I told you guys over and over again. Every time it comes down here, as you guys see, it gets bought up a lot right here too. So 360 to 350 is my target on long-term Moderna. And this is my favorite Vax play just because PFE and them have bigger market caps. So this one will move the fastest. Other than BNTX, BNTX can move fast as well. But it's kind of contingent on Pfizer. So it's up to you, Moderna and BNTX. I love them both. Moderna is just a much clearer chart for me. Long term, I want it between 360 and 350. I'll either take equity or leaps. Other than that, vaccines are dead for now. They're saying Delta is not important. OCGN, I'm keeping an eye on it. Also, it's a vaccine play. It's just getting very, very tight here. Looks pretty good. On the weekly as well, just super tight. Just waiting for a move on this one. Whichever way it breaks, I'm going to take it. Nothing more to really say about this one. Look how tight this is. Just completely sideways, everything. And if we do get a break, this one has a short interest, I believe, and we should get a spike up into the double digits here. So keep an eye on OCGN. Goldman Sachs, big ripper this morning, completely sideways. I've never seen Goldman Sachs trade like this. Never, ever. It traded in like a $2 range for like 8 hours today. It never does that. Like, look, as you can scroll back as long as you want. I've never seen Goldman Sachs trade in a $2 range for 8 hours. So, big move possible on Goldman Sachs. It looks like it wants higher. It just got ahead of itself today. But this is a very messy chart. There's gaps to fill to the downside. All-time highs is far away. The support is way too low to call it a support. I don't see a play on this one right now. Jumia is a great stock. We've been going over it a lot. 22.15 is where I will add leaps or equity on Jumia. No other number. If we close above 22.15, that's when I add equity or leaps. Other than that, right now it's just chop, trying to change the daily trend like I've been telling you guys over and over. PLTH is one I bought today, Planet 13 Holdings. It's a weed company in Vegas. They have a ton of stores in Vegas. Very well-known company there. If the Safe Banking Act gets passed through the House, it goes to the Senate. And if they pass that, I mean, weed legalization is around the corner. So it might be time to start loading up weed. It is risky, obviously. If they do not pass the act, then we're all screwed. We could make lower lows, absolutely. But for me right now, based on most of the weed charts, 2-3 months out, these charts, they're going to show the bottom and you're going to wish you bought in. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Obviously, look how dirty these charts are. Tilray, disgusting. SNDL, disgusting. CGC, disgusting. The safer play for these will obviously be to wait till they change their trends. But you might not get a chance. If they pass the Safe Banking Act and they legalize weed, I doubt they'll give you enough time to grab these. So I took some Planet 13 equity. I picked that one as my horse. I already have Ugro. As you guys well know, I love Ugro. I've been in it for a long, long time. We're up over 50%, I believe, on our equity. But I have this one. I have Planet 13, and I am thinking about adding Tilray calls leaps for next year. But we'll see how the market goes first. If I get a big dip on Tilray, I might add. If not, I have enough exposure to this sector. Boyle, I don't know anything about it, so I don't know what you want me to talk about. It's gapped up, it's gone. Like, do you want to buy here? If you're in it, congratulations. If you're not, there's a big gap to fill to the downside. It's very hard to buy a stock that's up 25% in a day. This is the one I prefer. It's called LNG. Talked to this Goldman Sachs guy. He said, I know a guy that works at Goldman Sachs. He's a senior analyst. He said they're building one of their biggest positions in LNG. It stands for Shinar Energy. So this one's one to keep on watch. If we go back down and fill this gap, if we get even close to the 8-day moving average, LNG will be a great buy in my opinion. Tesla looks fantastic. Complete breakout. 800 coming next. Looks great. Other than that, Tesla very rarely has 2 days in a row where it's up. It's up 2 days. Let's see if we get followed through today. We might even see 800 this week on Tesla. Very, very strong. AFRM. Looks great. I don't know why you tell me to go over this chart every single day. It's the same story. I told you we popped 30 when we got the Amazon news. We popped 30 when we got the earnings. Will we pop 30 on this Walmart news? And tomorrow is an investor day on AFRM. Let's see if we can pop off that news or if they say nothing of equivalence. Thank you guys for attending. I'll see you guys tomorrow.